Why should it only be my point of view? Why is my opinion so important when somebody else is telling me a story? It's horrible to pick on anybody. But he can make a curtain dance if he wants. I became an actor because of them, literally. To get back at to take your side, I keep correcting his Urdu pronunciation.
मुझे एक बात बताओ, मणिरत्नम या संजय लीला भंसाली?
For all film-related interviews, reviews and content, please like and subscribe to Pooja Talwar. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram.
So many congratulations.
Thank you.
Has it sunk in?
I'm actually very overwhelmed just now, and I'm just taking it all in, and more like, I'm enjoying it. I like to keep the lightness around it, honestly. And it's just, for me, it's just like so much fun and I'm excited, but I'm not taking all this like seriously and being like, oh, I'm just enjoying it.
Awesome. So first we talk about Bibo. We did discuss it very briefly, but now the show has been watched and one has seen what Bibo was all about. So you said that this was the role that he asked you to specifically play. Yeah. Though I kept thinking that you would have been perfect as Alam, but then I realized, Aditi ne bahut Alam jaise roles kiye hain. So what was it like, Bibo? What was the first thing that struck you about her? Because she is courage under fire, but she also has a frailty about her.
I think that's what I really loved about her. So I love that her core is very pure. She's like in this house full of women who are who have a lot of personal battles that they're all fighting. Here is a girl who has a higher purpose, and also everything she does stems from that purity, of purpose. I love that about her. And I feel like in hindsight, especially, see, at that time, of course, all these thoughts don't occur to you. You're just enjoying. I just enjoy working with Sanjay. So I enjoy the challenges he was throwing at me and all that I had to do. And I was just consumed with that. But in hindsight, when I'm doing interviews, etc., I realize what an honorable life he gave me to live out, And when I say honorable, I don't mean it like in a very serious kind of way. I mean, like, look at this, look at the kind of fire that this girl has, look at the sense of purpose that she has, and it stems from love. At first, what you see is the love for her family, for her sister, for her mother, keeping everybody together, possibly even for Wali Sahab, and just to just be there, to be present, to do right, to keep everybody together. But that loyalty and that kind of almost vulnerability, is what actually makes her so fearless towards the purpose that she fights for. And I love that in bibbojaan, that her vulnerability makes her fearless and her fearlessness makes her vulnerable. And both are in her together all at once. And Sanjay sir came up with this. Sanjay sir came up with this journey, of course, with the writers, etc. But it was his intention to create this journey for this girl, Otherwise, she could have become a one-tone character. She could have been this really sweet, gentle, frail, delicate girl who just does everything correct. But to give her that higher purpose, I think really what makes Bibbo and makes that really gives that sense of purpose to not just her, but also to Heeramandi and the women of Heeramandi, and also to that time, because I remember sometimes, when I had to do these slightly fiery scenes, he would be, ab main Aditi aise ye kaise nikalu, fire kaise nikalu, and that's what I want to do. I want to show people the fire that she has in her, and I really I'm so grateful to it, because I've always believed this, and we've spoken about this before, that every girl is not the same. So every girl is unique, and her beauty is unique, her courage is unique, her vulnerability is unique, her fire is unique. And so he shows a very unique kind of fire with bibbojaan. And that fire is so powerful that it brings the entire Heeramandi. They drop all their personal differences and they come together. And at times, Sanjay sir would speak to me, he would take me aside and very lovingly speak to me about how these people were heroes, freedom fighters, and what they did for our country and the destiny of our country. They were true heroes, and what it must have been to be them, and girls like Bibbo were unsung heroes, to take on destiny. I mean, how incredible is that? So it really was amazing to sort of surrender to this process and also to live out this life. Very beautiful.
So this is your second outing with him. Very different from Herunisa, who was quiet and, just
But
someone.
also very strong and powerful in her own way.
Yeah, in her own way.
Yeah, in
But
her own way.
how is he as a filmmaker? Because he is a perfectionist and, he has certain quirks to him. What is it like working as an actor? Like, what is it like, the set like?
Honestly, the myth and legend that surrounds Sanjay sir, I mean, I'm not sure how and where it comes from, because I think it's also the limit. This is a very strong thing I'm going to say, but I do believe it somewhere. I don't know how to put it
Yeah, sure.
as nicely as possible. But there is a certain limitation in the view, people's hearts and, people's hearts also. And I feel that as a person around a maker like Sanjay sir, you also have to be expansive, to understand the value of this person, not just as an artist, but also as a human being. So I feel like I've also grown up in this Guru Shishya Parampara. And I very much see Sanjay sir as a mentor and as a guru. And I feel like when you come in front of a guru, you just discard any baggage that you have and you come empty slate and you come to surrender. And I'm not saying this in a kind of I'm not saying this in I'm saying this in a way that is actually also very empowering and very, very fulfilling. Because here is a person who gives you so much. He gives you the best of everything and he wants you to take it. He believes in your potential more than you believe in it. And he wants you to take that. He wants you to see all the layers that he's giving you, because he believes that you can sort of, you can go into that kind of emotional depth. And sometimes we come with our own baggage and our own egos and our own, whatever. And I feel that we are closed. And isn't it? I believe it's so important to surrender and to be open to people like this, because they have so much to give. And Sanjay sir is a very, very generous person. He's generous in his craft. He's also generous in his spirit and in his heart, because he really does love his actors and his crew and his everything that he does. It a lot of what he does comes from love, and he challenges himself the most. He's hardest on himself. He challenges himself the most. He's always trying to look for the magic. And it's up to us to, to find the value in that. And I really enjoy that process with him. So for me, Sanjay sir is a hugely passionate, hugely loving, and hugely challenging maker. And I really find that precious about him. I find it very valuable. There are days of course, it's difficult, and it's difficult for everybody, including himself, because he's trying to create something that's really way greater than a lot of us can even fathom or understand at that point. So I love him and I really enjoy working with him. And I take the challenging days and the very loving days with equal surrender and an open heart. And I enjoy it. And I feel like I want to do that for him,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, though the series is being celebrated and it's given, it's basically his eye, it's him. But there are a lot of people saying that, you have glamorized the courtesans and glamorized the Heeramandi was never like that. What do you have to say to the critiques that who have come up? What is your take on it? As somebody who's part of this.
At this point, I haven't seen much of this. I have seen a little bit of it. So I believe that here is a filmmaker who is a legacy filmmaker. He's somebody, in fact, I think we should celebrate. Not just because I have worked with him on Heeramandi, because I've watched all of his films and I really do love his films. And I think he's a very important filmmaker in our country and for the narrative of the cinema of this country. So I feel that he's very precious and he should be celebrated. And I feel like artistic people like him should have the leeway to make the kind of cinema that they want to make. Also, that is uniquely his voice and his vision. So I think that as a viewer, I want to be expansive, and I want to have generosity of spirit and mind to be able to view something from somebody's point of view. Why should it only be my point of view? Why is my opinion so important when somebody else is telling me a story? You know? Okay, that's one thing. The second thing, and because I feel that is what artistic freedom is about, right? That is what having a voice is about being unique to yourself and authentic to yourself. And Sanjay sir is very authentic to what he believes in, and he's very sacha, he does everything dil se because he loves it so much. He loves this world and he has knowledge of this world. Having said that, I think cinematic liberties of whatever kind are very important because that's what makes that world immersive and that's what makes it cinematic. We are not making a documentary film. The other, and everything that he does has come with a lot of love. He has love for these women, for this world. He believes that a woman, regardless of where she comes from, should be treated like a queen with dignity. So he has told this story with so much love and dignity. Okay. Now, certain things that I've seen about, this is not the clothes they wear. This is not, I'm just like, this is the Heeramandi that he has created. This is not a documentary. This is his aesthetic. It is a beautiful aesthetic. Why can't you just enjoy it, And you can read books, you can look at documentaries. Like my mother had a Ford Foundation grant to study, to research Tawaiefs and Tumri and music, and she has called me and said she's always been a fan of his, but she said it's all so beautiful and so actually true, and so many of the stories are kind of built upon narratives that possibly existed, but they are his there's a lot of his embroidery in it, and that's what makes it beautiful. Then little things I've seen and heard, and I want to talk about it, especially to you because you'll understand, is there's suppose the language, people are saying language, but I'm like, we are such a syncretic country, so it's not about whether it's Lahori or whether it's from Agra. These women could have been from many places, and this was, I mean, we are talking about, I mean, I'm not even going to go into the history now, but there is, we are speaking a language which is Hindustani and belongs to this region in many ways, and also it needs to be understandable, then the fact of the dancing, suppose. So it's not typical Bollywood Kathak. So he has kind of stripped it of the masala and tried to keep it a little old world, where there was not so much tatkar and that footwork and chakkars, and it was more about nazakat, adakari. There were tawaifs who were singing and dancing, so it was, the work was all here. The lip sync is not typical Bollywood lip sync where आप ऐसा मुंह ज्यादा खोलते हैं, बिकॉज अगर आप मुंह ज्यादा खोल के गाएंगे तो आपका नजाकत, मतलब it'll take away from what is happening here. तो आप बहुत delicately ठुमरियां गाते हैं, ठुमरी singing is done very delicately, so that all the work is here. So there are little nuance things like this which are,
and only an artist like you can explain this.
I mean, because I feel it, and
where you come from, your mom is a classical singer, and you've been trained too, so you understand these.
And also on cinema, and also sir understands more than any of us that, and if he so wanted it, he would have got it out of us. My God, he can make a curtain dance if he wants. So if he wanted any of us to do anything differently, he would have made us do it. And also your frame is here. So this has to be the most important thing. And these were women who were like, they were what do I say? They were beautiful, they were sensuous. Yeah, everything was about adakari and nazakat and their...
Other than that, also trolling your co-stars, Aajkal anyone and everyone, and a lot of you have spoken about it, that it's just unfair to pick on one person. What do you personally think, having been in the industry for so long?
100%, it's horrible to pick on anybody, and I know some people like something, some people don't like something, and there's a way to say it. It can get very mean. It has gotten very mean, and I feel that it's not fair and it shouldn't happen like that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say, but
No,
I do feel bad, and I think at least we should all, understand it and be there for each other.
Absolutely. You know, the thing is, the success of a show is gauged by the meme fest. आपने देखा हर जगह memes and reels बन रही है, हजूर, जना.
But there's also a lot of praise, and I also feel like, honestly, people do what they think is important to them. So if some people want to, be mean, that is their prerogative. So we have to find a way around it. Otherwise, it'll be really difficult. And yeah. So
आजकल everyone is a
whoever is facing it, I would just say, look at the positive. Yeah.
Absolutely. अब मुझे एक बात बताओ, मणिरत्नम या संजय लीला भंसाली?
I will never choose. I love them both, and I feel so lucky that they choose me. I think that's the most important thing here. They choose me.
You would be
I
on
couldn't be more
everyone's
blessed.
wish list. You managed to work with two cinematic legends here.
I became an actor because of them, literally. You know this. I saw Bombay as growing up, and Khamoshi after, and then Chokher Bali, Rituparna Ghosh's. And I wanted to be the heroine of Maniratnam, Sanjayleelabhansali, and Rituparna Ghosh. Rituparna Ghosh is not with us anymore, but Maniratnam, Mani sir and Sanjay sir, of course. Thank God they picked me. I have some angels looking after me.
Awesome. I mean, let's say like lights. So when you attract good things. So I want to congratulate you as well. How did you gauge the rumors जब सबने आपकी शादी करवा दी थी when you were just only getting engaged?
I guess it was the love in their hearts that they all jumped to many conclusions. It was also that we were, far away at my family temple, and it was kind of quiet, and we were just the family together. It was also festival time for us. But I understand all of this comes with love. But हमें वो Instagram post डालना पड़ा because we thought there was dignity in that. I always say there's a difference between secret and private. So it was just a private moment, but I just embraced the love that was coming, and I'm very grateful for it. Yeah, and I always like to put a positive spin on anything, and I do really really value that इतने लोग आपको इतना मतलब प्यार भेजते हैं, and they want the best for you. So I just look at that and I'm like, thank you.
But you both complement each other also very well. Touch wood on that. But
thank you.
So what is it about him? Because, he's also a very serious actor, but your personalities are also very different. Once he had checked me saying my Tamil pronunciation was wrong. I still remember that. तुम गलत बोल रही हो. And I kept telling him, I'm not Tamil, I wouldn't know, but still. But, anyways,
So now to get back to take your side, I keep correcting his Urdu pronunciation.
Thank you,
But his Hindi is very good. So I can only get to him with this, and he's very good at language. So I can only say Urdu. Kha bolo kha. Kha bolo kha. So, no. So actually, one of my dearest friends, Gaurav Gupta, who is a designer, he's very, very protective of me. Protective to the point that I call him like Chaiji. So he said, I have to meet Siddharth. So I was like, fine, muh dikhai will happen, don't worry. The moment he met him, and he calls me a pixie. So the moment he met him, he said, oh, he's a pixie only. Okay, fine, you're fine together. So I wouldn't like Sidhu Siddharth is he's a cinema boy. He's been Manisa's AD. That was his first job. After
money connection.
Yes, we're both Manisa kids. So he did an MBA, and because he promised his dad he would do an MBA, and went straight to Manisa's office. And that was his first job as an as an AD. And then, of course, Shankar sir picked him up for boys. So he's a cinema boy. So for me to listen to him, to chat with him, to understand, he has loved Heeramandi. He called me in, he couldn't speak. He was so overwhelmed and his eyes were swollen. And he just said, I have to come and meet Sanjay sir as soon as I can. And he said, and after he was able to actually string a sentence, he said, now there will be two freedom fighters in our family, Karan Singhania and bibbojaan.
Remember the national crush?
And I was like, oh my God, yeah. I never even thought of it.
But you remember he'd become a national crush after Rang De Basanti?
Yeah.
Totally. But it doesn't help to have a partner who's in the same industry as you, is it? because actors also have their mood swings. There are times when you don't want to be. So does it actually help when your partner is also from the same workspace as you?
I think for both of us, like we kind of come from a similar space in that we enjoy what we do, we love what we do, it's our fuel. But there's also a 5-year-old in both of us. So there's always that excitement, and we don't like weigh heavily on each other and on ourselves. Yeah, so I think somewhere we keep it light, and sometimes like Sidhu possibly goes a little more into method and kind of almost like, what's the word for it? Like creating things, etc. I tend to be more like surrender instinct, whatever. But I feel that those two sides of the coin are also so interesting. And then, to listen to each other and to like, but we're not always discussing work per se, but we do, chat about things that made us, that moved us, made us feel that. And sometimes it helps me because I'm such an instinct person. He's able to verbalize things, kind of succinctly quite often. So sometimes it's quite like nice for me to be able to hear what he has to say.
Awesome. And now after Heeramandi, you're going straight to the grand red carpet. So what can you tell us? What are you planning to wear? What are you planning to do? So everyone is rode in a red carpet, and the fashion statement and fashion pundits become a huge deal.
I know, but I've realized that's the third time I'm going, and I'm a L'Oreal girl, so I go with great pride to Cannes and to represent the brand. And I'm learning now to take less and less stress and to take, to enjoy it. So I'm determined to enjoy it. And just to feel lucky that I'm there in the first place, So there is a responsibility, of course, but there's also a lot of fun, and thrill. That's what I'm concentrating on, and clothes will happen. Of course, I'm involved in that, but preparation हो रही है, हाँ. Who am I wearing? वो तो नहीं बता सकती, और वो अभी तक पता भी नहीं है मुझे. We're figuring it out.
Awesome. Since you're a Hyderabad girl, which is the one thing you like about Hyderabad?
I love the people there. They're very, very generous. They want to feed you at all times, great food. And they have this very, I don't know how to say this, always time, this sukoon in Hyderabad. And हाँ, मतलब बहुत gentle है वहाँ के लोग, और बहुत generous, मतलब very, very lovely. मतलब road पे भी ना अगर कोई problem हो गई, they'll say it so sweetly, जरा हल्लू चलो मियाँ. They sweetly they say.
Awesome, you do it so well. I'm looking forward to hearing Siddharth speak in Urdu.
I know, right?
Tamil से बहुत मैं डर गई थी उसके बाद.
Next time, go for it.
No, because he has that thing. He has that "don't mess with me" vibe, So I think you're the one who named him.
But I feel like, there's pride in language, and I think there should be in many ways. So I kind of I find that quite inspiring. And I feel like a lot of the Tamil filmmakers I have worked with, there's so much pride in their language, and it's such a beautiful language. Now that I'm more and more sort of exposed to it, it's very poetic, very beautiful. Even Telugu is a very, very beautiful language. हम तो मतलब नॉर्थ में हम सोचते हैं सब साउथ इंडिया एक स्टेट है. It's all so diverse and so different. Yeah.
Absolutely. Anyways, all the very best. What next after the blockbuster?
Next is I'm very, very spoiled with this experience, but next is Lioness. I'm looking forward to that. It's a film headlined by two girls somewhere. That's really, really cool. So there's me and Paige Sandhu from the UK. It's being directed. It's called Lioness. It's sorry, I think I already said that. It's being directed by Kajri Babbar. It's kind of about the suffragette movement, and it's about two girls a century apart. I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be it's a first Indo-British production, so that in itself is quite a prestige project. Yeah. So.
And I've just recalled you've become the OTT queen. Jubilee, Nagili Pucci hit, Jubilee hit, Heeramandi hit. We should just amplify this. But anyway, many congratulations on both aspects of your life.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Always fun talking to you.
Same here. Likewise. Take care.
If you've liked this interview, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram.